Are you considering leaving your 9 to 5? Or maybe you've left your 9 to 5 and you've already been married for quite a few years. Well, today we're going to be discussing dealing with leaving your 9 to 5 and navigating marriage. Because we know that there's a lot of new things that you're going to be facing. You're going to be facing with your partner, and there are new risks, there are new financial things that you just got to discuss. And so, in today's conversation, I have a really good friend of mine who's going to be joining me, who has just started his full time journey into entrepreneurship and navigating marriage. So, my man, George, how are you, brother?
Going well, man. Going well. Doing good.
Dude,
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
thanks for joining me on this conversation. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been having conversations talking to people about different aspects of love and marriage, business and marriage, right? And so tell the people real quick, like, how long have you been married and what does that look like typically? Yeah, like, give us a little rundown on that.
Yeah, man. So I met my wife at work when I was working corporate. We met about 8 or so years ago. So we married for about 6. And so, yeah, man, going strong. Just like anybody else, got our ups and downs, and it's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. And so you've met your wife at work. Is she still there now?
Yeah, she's still there now. Yeah.
So how does it feel since departing from the 9 to 5 world? Well, not only in the marriage, but for you, how do you feel now being full time in entrepreneurship? How long has it been?
Yeah, man. So since since April, I left in April, and so it's different. It's definitely different. We got working corporate. It was just the normal, the normal American dream that we're living, right?
Yeah.
And when I left, it was just like I knew there were responsibilities behind the curtain, but man, it hits you like a brick. It really does. And you gotta be strong. You gotta be strong, gotta be tough skinned, and be willing to take a few things on the chin and just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when you say it's tough, like let's jump into that, right? Like because that person who's on the fence who wants to leave their 9 to 5, like define it's tough a little bit more for me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So as I kind of grew my career in corporate, I realized, okay, so being kind of lower, quote unquote, lower on the totem pole, are you taking your lunches on time? Are you coming back from, are you coming to work on time doing this? So as you elevate your career, those kind of things are, the people are keeping less tabs on you. You can come in whenever, you can have your lunches, whatever, right? And so that kind of that kind of molded me to put my mind in where in a spot where I was like, okay, so as long as I do what I need to get done, I'll be okay. And
Hmm.
so when you leave corporate, right, like that concept, right, like you're gonna get as far as the amount of work that you put into it, right? If you want to just chill and watch TV all day, I mean, watch some Netflix, 90 Day Fiance, get sucked into that noise. I mean, nobody's gonna stop you, right? But
Hmm.
uh, you just you have to anchor yourself to the dream that you had before, but like it's real, it's staring you right in the face, right? And so when you're looking at straight head on, what you're looking at is the finances, you're looking at the balance, the work life balance, and it's a struggle. It is a struggle because, like, with the acknowledgement of all those responsibilities and saying, okay, so I'm going to be as successful as the amount of effort that I put into it. When I'm building a dream, because that's what it is, like my dream is out there and I'm making my dream happen,
Hmm.
right? And so when I'm making my dreams come true, it's exciting. And I'm just like, go mode, go, 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 go. And if I don't take a step back, I'm gonna start feeling guilty when my daughter goes to bed. You know what I mean? My wife is gonna be like, are you gonna have lunch today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's little comments like that where I'm just like, yes, like I'm working, like I'll figure it out, right? Like I know, this is new for all of us, and we're trying to figure out how to, do this thing and make it work in everybody's schedule. And those are just words sometimes. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
don't take it serious and say like, okay, no matter the amount of, no matter how many hundreds of tasks I got to do today, it's closing time, right? It'll come back tomorrow, or if I got time in the early morning, I can wake up, right? Being able to take a step back and realizing like it's a bigger picture, right? And there's much more weight on being able to balance these things. I didn't feel that at corporate. Just
Mm-hmm.
clock in, clock out, family life, we're good, right? Steady paycheck, nobody stressing over nothing. And
Yeah.
it's just like now that now that we're out of corporate, or I'm out of corporate rather, the pay is coming, right? It's here, it's there, it's now, it's later, it's maybe, right? And so that's scary, right? When you've got kids, when you've got a wife and you got a house, you got bills to pay. It's just yeah, man, it's it's a, it's a lot to
Yeah.
carry.
It really is, man. And I think most people don't realize, and I'll just start from the top as to what you started with. They don't realize the discipline that it takes and requires. And so I like to say, before you leave your 9 to 5, be a good employee, right? And being a good employee really means don't live by when the cat's away, the mouse would play principle. Like, don't do only what's required, do more, because
Mhm.
when you start working for yourself, if you only do what's required, guess what? Nothing's really required. Everything is on you, right?
Mhm.
And so you have to put that level of urgency on yourself to get things done and understand what's important to get done, right? And so it's that level of discipline and being able to time block and manage getting the most important things done. And you also said something that I think is really, really cool. And I never thought about it like this before, where you said, I'm living the dream because I am going after my dreams and I'm making it happen. And you saying that made me also have a question. And I know the answer to the question, but I want to ask the question anyway because I think that it may be able to help. Why, as high performers, do we not include our family as a part of the dream? Like, and I know to some degree they are, but when we're living the dream, we tend to forget them and leave them out. But why are they not included in the main dream? Have you
Mhm.
ever thought of that?
Yeah, man. I think in the perfect world for me, like I would love, and when I first started real estate, my wife went out and got her real estate license, right? Like she was on board, she was there to support. I'm like, yes, this is like we're in sync, we're aligned, right? And the more I kind of lean towards XYZ, the more it's like, okay, George, you need to just figure out what you're doing, right? Let me know, kind of thing, right? And it got to a point where I'm just all tech, and I try to talk to my wife about strategy, and it's just like, okay, like, all right, let me know when I can, go, do whatever. And it's like, I think the trouble that a lot of high performers walk into is when you have that um, that relentless work ethic. What happens is your mind is conditioned in a way that's like a lot of people, they work hard, they grind, they grind and grind, and sometimes they don't see anything, and it's like, man, I'm exhausted, I'm hopeless, every excuse in the book for me is like that.
I think you're.
Somebody,
Go ahead. Now I could hear you.
oh my bad. Every time I work so hard and I wanted to give up, bro, somebody's always watching. I've had the most amazing opportunities happen because of how hard I work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get into that zone, it's hard to deal with distractions, right? And I've gotten more comfortable with, like, if I'm on a Zoom call and my daughter's like running around all over the place, I'm like, baby, like, I'm busy right now, right? And now it's just like, yeah, that's my daughter. She's crazy. She's running up the walls right now. You know what I mean? And so, like, for a long time, it was hard for me to kind of deal with that. It was always
Mm-hmm.
black and white. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm just like, if something comes up and my daughter needs me, for example, I'm like, hold on, I'll be right back, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's more important than what my kid needs, even if she just wants to say she had a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a toddler, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I'll share with you one of the things that I do. Um, and I think this is what makes my family the like what it is. When I have a business goal, I also put a family goal. And so, because if I'm going hard in my business, that means I'm going to leave these things behind. And so, but if I set goals on both spectrums and I come up with the tactics and I reverse engineer all of that, then I need to give myself a new husband goal,
Yep.
right? Like, so those are things that I do to match the level of intensity that I put on one side with the other so that I'm not leaving one behind. You see what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a delicate balance for sure. Um, it's when sometimes you're caught in that tunnel vision and you're caught in that just go mode, it's hard to see everything around you, right? And it isn't until whatever moment makes you aware for you to take a step back. Okay, so you're making it come true, right? Of silence, get some solitude, whatever, meditate, whatever you got to do. It isn't until you take a step back where you realize, again, that picture is way bigger, right? And you can come up with those goals, and you realize, like, okay, I've got this crazy dream. Maybe I just need to hire more people, right? Like, that thought would have never came to me while I was in hustle mode, trying to do everything my own. You know what I mean? So it's,
Yeah.
taking those little breaks is critical for sure.
No, they're super critical, and a conversation that I've been having a lot more because it's something that we do in our household is talking about our relationship KPIs, right? Because just like how we have business KPIs, and we're working on the most important things in the business to move the needle forward. What are the relationship KPIs? What are the things that my wife needs daily, weekly, so that she has a level um, of harmony between the two things, right? And so the question becomes, what is your relationship KPI with your spouse, with your kids? What's the thing that they need? Because and I want to kind of zoom in on this a little bit more, because just like the business, there are millions of things that we could do, but not everything is important,
Hmm.
right? Like, if we zoomed out and we talked about a car, like the most important things on the car is for the engine to work, the tires to have air, the transmission, and even if it didn't have a body, we could still get to point A and point B, right? Like, so, but if we wanted it to move, we need certain things for it to actually move. And so, what are the most important things in your relationship that is necessary for there to be a level of harmony?
For us, it's honestly, bro, it's God. It's putting our spirituality in front of everything, even in our most difficult moments. Um, like I said, in the ups and downs, man, it's God is love, bro. And you know, when we're able to just kind of remember what we committed to each other, and you know, put aside pride, put aside, you know, anger, frustration, and just like really look into each other's soul and just like really try, like, despite how mad you are, despite how angry or frustrated you are, just like look at their heart and
Yeah.
realize they're just trying to figure it out just like you are, right? And so the KPI, the North Star metric,
Yeah.
is our spirituality. Yeah.
That's so good, bro, because with that one thing, everything works, right? Like if that's the North Star, then everything kind of comes in alignment from that. So I really, really love that. And so since you guys have been on this journey now, what I heard you say earlier was that there's still some figuring out happening. And
Mhm.
that figuring out is it how has she how have you guys been navigating that where you still feel supported in that in your marriage fully?
Yeah, man. I think the bottom line is like for her to be able to support, regardless of how much she wants to try to wrap her head around what I do, just
Yeah.
being there to support the things that I do, and I mean, really, just being able to just to come together and just, it's a weird balance because here's the other thing. So my wife, she grew up in a very traditional. The dad was this.
I think I lost you for a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. There's something there that exists that says be strong, and when you're not strong, be stronger. And I know that those aren't her words, right?
Yeah.
But what it does is like it kind of forces me to figure stuff out, right? And by not allowing myself to be vulnerable with her, what happens is she thinks like, oh, he's got it all figured out because he's strong, he's got the master plan, right? And it's just like another key metric is just that communication. No matter how
Yeah.
vulnerable or how exposed you feel you are at any given moment, just being strong ever. Here's what I'm struggling with. I just want to talk to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Yeah.
that transparency too.
Yeah, and that's such a necessary thing, man, especially as entrepreneurs to have that person to talk to. And it's really difficult when it's not your partner or when you're unable to have that conversation or they just shut that conversation down. And that's also why having buddies like you and I to be able to hop on the phone and to talk because we're going through similar things, even in business and in marriage, right? Like, so it's a part of that being able to relate because now you've moved away from a culture and other people who are not doing the same things as you in now doing something that is more in alignment with other people. And so that's where one of our connection points really come from. And so I've been doing these and kind of going up to about 20 minutes, which is what we're hitting right now. And I want to ask, like, I love ending with difficult questions, right? Could you hear me? I think we may have lost connection with George for a little bit. And guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, like, please, like, just understand that you're gonna go through a lot of similar things. And so, George, are you back? I think I seen that he was back. Um, let's see. I think you're back, but there you go.
Mm.
Yep, there you go.
I Yeah, okay, cool. I got to a better connection. I don't. So yeah, you were saying tough questions is where you left off. I heard that.
Yeah, yeah, tough question. So the tough not so tough question is, how has being full-time entrepreneurship, how has it affected y'all's intimacy life?
Oh man, we're gonna jump straight into that, huh? It's it's interesting. It's interesting because um we we're strong. We you know we try our best to compromise given whatever it is going on at the moment between ourselves. And again, if we're not taking that time to really assess the lay of the land, a lot of stuff is forgotten. People, feelings, emotions, moments, and it's not just like carving time out, right? Like even just the
Mm-hmm.
other night we had date night. We went out, we had a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and my mind was somewhere. My mind was somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I did the task and hung out, right? Like my mind was still somewhere else. And I was that was me. That was a moment of me being honest with her too. Is like because I'm just kind of getting over allergies, and at the moment I said I was sick, right? And so I told her I was like, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like I wasn't sick. Like I've got a lot going on in my mind, and I apologize. I apologize. And so we we're we had a conversation, and it's just about just being honest and just just like I said, just talking it out, just really talking it out, and just looking for ways to see it through. And to answer your question, I've tried to skate around it a little bit. It's bro, like with my job, with her job, we got two kids in practice in soccer. We've got XYZ, ABC, from the stars to the moon and everything in between. It's hard for us to carve time. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
And what I would encourage you to do, bro, is to make that a priority.
absolutely.
Yeah, make it a priority, and one of those non-negotiable things, even if you need to put it on the calendar, right? Because the important things make it to the calendar, and so, like, one of the things that we prioritize is making those things, like putting it on the calendar,
Hmm.
right? Because if we waited on an emotion or something like that, like, bro, we got so much stuff going on that